My name is Duddy, Saddle Builds and Stuff. Today's video is about Gunpowder Gamble, absolutely nutty aspect now. At the beginning of Renegades, they actually buffed this. I'm going to explain what they did, and then it wasn't working properly, and then they fixed it on Tuesday. We're going to be featuring the thriving gear set bonus for increased grenade damage and Spirit of Verity, so it's like a couple of little ideas on how this aspect can be used. It's really, really strong now. Like, you get like a massive ignition damage boost off this as well. So we're going to be looking at making it better a couple of different ways. Like I said, it's really good for minus 30s. It's ridiculous. It just destroys champions. Look at the state of that. It's pretty good at GMs as well. So at the start of Renegades, Gunpowder Gamble aspect, shooting a dynamite to detonate it now increases damage by 50%. It expands the radius and creates submunitions. But it wasn't working properly because it wasn't actually working with your grenade stat. And then on the Tuesday's reset, they actually fixed it. So it says fixed additional where shooting the Gunpowder Gamble's dynamite to detonate it did not count as grenade damage. So now they are both in and fully functional. So we'll do some testing just to sort of show you. Straight off the bat, I'm doing 140 grenade damage, although it will be a bit higher with fonts, etc. But just for testing, 140. And then you stick it to the boss, and it's going to hit for 570. And now, because I really want to thoroughly test it and explain what's happening, I'm going to just let it detonate on its own. So it's exactly the same, 570. So if you let it explode, it's for 570 when stuck. And if you don't let it stick, it's for 570. So now we're going to shoot it. And to start with, I'm going to shoot it away from the target. So now it hits for 854, which that's always been sort of a thing. That's always been on Gunpowder Gamble. But when we actually shoot it when it's stuck to the target in the next clip, you're going to see a couple of numbers. So here we go. I'm going to stick it to the target again, and I'm going to shoot it this time, and it's going to hit for 854 and 570. So it's getting some really big damage increases, and all them submunitions, they aren't hitting anything at the moment. So you're actually getting a really big damage buff by shooting it when it's stuck to the target. So one more time, you're going to get the 854, the 570, plus a few 23s, and all them submunitions, they're really important for the next few clips, because they are actually hitting anything at the moment. So these submunitions, if you do shoot them in a correct area where there's a few enemies, they will cause massive ignitions, and it's actually a 50% ignition damage. Ember of Ashes, you want this one to apply more scorch stacks. Ember of Char to make your ignition spread scorch, and then Ember of Eruption to increase the area of effect. And then what happens is you're going to get all that damage increase to 50% damage increase on the ignitions, and it's going to spread like a wildfire. Look at the state of that. It's an absolute joke. You can obviously buff this out with grenade fonts as well if you wanted to get to like 200, 190, whatever you want to run. So that's a really easy buff. As we all know these work. I've got another option as well for you in a moment. If you don't actually have like a 200 grenade build, you can run a gear set, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. But all them submunitions are going to cause ignitions as well. Like, it's an absolute disgrace. It's really, really strong. You've also got the Thriving Survivor gear set, specifically the 4-piece bonus. If you get multiple kills with heat weapons, it's going to give you a plus 40 grenade stat, and it also gives you a plus 50 weapon stat as well. So there's loads of different heat weapons this season, and we're going to get more. Things like Uncivil Disclosure, couple of kills with that, couple of kills with Heirloom. These all work all or nothing, and you've also got the bitter ends, so you can mix and match as long as you get 3 kills in about 3 or 4 seconds in between. You're going to get a plus 40 grenade stat, as you can see there, room clearing on that bottom left. So you've got grenade fonts if you've got a decent grenade build. If you haven't, you can run that thriving gear set and get a plus 40 just by getting 2 or 3 kills. Well, it's actually 3 kills. And Gunpowder Gamble is very easy to build into, really. You don't have to do anything. I'm on a full solar subclass here. The ignitions from the Char, Eruption and Ashes is always useful. I really like this with the Heirloom exotic, because the Heirloom does extra damage against Scorch, and it's got like a Burning Ambition trait on there as well. So you can cause plenty of ignitions, and it can just clear rooms out of your Gunpowder Gamble. I mean, just watch this stuff here. This is GM minus 50s. It's just a joke. It just absolutely rinses this, and them ignitions are extremely, extremely fun to watch. I sort of messed it up here. It does take a bit of practice. I wouldn't say it's like really skillful to do, but you do need to practice it a little bit, sticking that gunpowder gamble to the target. And if you miss, it's not really a biggie. You're still going to do plenty of damage. Like I said, that was GM gameplay. Minus 30s. You can actually destroy champions with this. 2 overload champions there. Just get out absolutely disgusted. So that's the full solo subclass. I'll leave a dim link for that for you. I've also got a prismatic version as well. I don't think it's as good as a solo one, but while we're here, we might as well go into it. Spirit of Verity on the Hunter. If you run solo weapons, you're going to get improved damage bonus for your Swarm Grenade and your Gunpowder Gamble. So you can stack Verities 100% extra damage on your grenades if you run solo weapons. And you've got things like Spirit of the Foe Tracer, Spirit of Inmost Light to pair with it. The unfortunate thing with Spirit of the Foe Tracer, the Swarm Grenade will proc Foe Tracer, but the Gunpowder Gamble no longer procs Foe Tracer. I'm not sure if that's a bug for your solo weapons. So that was a bit of a downer. But, for example, my Gunpowder Gamble there, look, it's not proccing my Foe Tracer, I'm running Heirloom. However, the Swarm Grenade does actually proc it. This is the downside with this thing, this little setup, because the Swarm Grenade is absolute garbage. Honestly, it's terrible. But if you want to build into high Gunpowder Gamble, Spirit of Verity is the way to go. Something like Heirloom or Dragon's Breath, Ariana's, something like that. So you can see there, 832 to 555. And then what I'm going to do is get a few kills, build my Verities up. I don't actually get the full stack of Verity, but it is 100% extra damage. Plus all that extra damage you've seen from the buffs and everything. I've got Death Thrones. I'm just short of a full set there. But you'll see it go up. Absolutely massive, massive numbers. Really, really good. And again, that's not a full stack of Verities because I was on my own and I was trying to get it stacked on the boss at the same time. The other downside of this as well, you don't really get the ignitions like you do on the full solo subclass because of the fragments. You've got no eruption or char to spread that scorch. However, it is pure damage. You do get a lot more damage on that Gunpowder Gamble. And it's really easy to keep going. Now, Verities itself has had quite a few buffs over the last couple of seasons. A lot easier to keep going now. So you do lose out on the ignitions, but you do gain a hell of a lot more Gunpowder Gamble damage. I'll leave a dim link for this one as well. I really, really prefer the full solo one, especially with all the other buffs to solo as well. Don't forget On Your Mark also got buffed. I've covered it loads on this channel. On Your Mark actually cures you now as well when you're at times 10. And then if you just look at this number here, I know it's only a small ad, but 1,700 damage is absolutely crazy. Swarm Grenade isn't very good, although it's good for proccing your Foe Tracer on your Heirloom or your Dragon's Breath or other solo weapons. And you could do some real big damage for it. Let me know what you think of this video. I'll leave a dim link for both builds, my Prismatic and the full solo one. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.